This is Rick from Mike and Rick Outdoors, and today I want to show you the Hilleberg Anjan 2. It's a two-person tent. It's one of the best 3-season backpacking tents on the market, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and hit the thumbs up. Hit that notification button, and you'll be alerted to new videos as we put them out. The first thing I like about the Hilleberg Anjan 2 is that we've already used this tent several times, and you all know how when you use a tent and you try to put it back in the bag, it usually never goes. It's crazy how, you know, they pack it so good that you can't repack it and put it back in. But you can see this bag has a lot of room. This tent is not very big. It's only about 3.5 pounds, I believe, but it all fits back in here, and there's still room left over. So now I'm going to set this thing up. I'm not going to show you the details of setting up. You can see that elsewhere on YouTube. But I'm going to, once I set it up, and I'll fast forward through it a little bit, I'll show you the details about and the qualities of the tent that I really like the most. I'm going to reshoot setting up the tent today because yesterday the video stopped working halfway through it. So that's why I'm in a different location. This is how quick it is to set up the Anjan 2 tent. I didn't put all the stakes in the ground here. The ground is a combination of rock and a bit loose, so it's wanting to pull out. But you put stakes in these two sides here and over there, and then you use these guy wires and you bring them out diagonally on each corner, and then you put stakes in those. You'll see in the video here, as I go back to yesterday's video, how it's set up. And then I'll show you a look inside the tent. As I said earlier, I'm not going to give you all the specifics necessarily about this tent, but I'm going to give you what I like about it and just keep it real simple. So it's a dome, not a dome shape. It's I guess a tube, or whatever you want to call it. And the entrance is here on the front. There's also an a window on the back. I'll show you in a second. So this opens real easily from the front, and you can tie this opening back as you can with all tents. So this vestibule, whatever you want to call it, is a great place to put your gear, your boots, and it's like, say if you even wanted to have a little stove and cook in here if it's raining or snowing, you can do that right here on the ground. Just make sure you don't get close to the tent and catch it on fire. Well, here we are inside the Anjan 2 tent, and they say it's a two-person tent, but that would be pretty tight for two people. I like this tent as a one-person tent. I can put gear on one side, and I can also bring a dog if I want, but be careful with the dog. If he has sharp paws, you want to puncture the bottom of that. I've done that to a good tent before. Some real nice things about this is it's a double wall tent, and I'll show you a little bit closer up in just a second. But the tent comes up on the side about 6 inches, and there's no seams down at the base, so the water can't get in unless you puncture the tent. So that's a really great feature. I love tents like that. Sometimes they have, some of the ones that aren't as good, they'll have seams right at the bottom. Well, you can get leaks from that. So I can pretty much sit up in this tent. It's nice. Some tents are a little bit smaller and they're hard to sit up in. It's about 6 feet long or so. There's not a window on the back necessarily, but there is a vent, and then you can pull the Rainfly back and get more air, or be able to see better if it's a beautiful day or you want to see it at night and enjoy the stars. There is a pocket right here. There's a line up here I guess you could hang something from, but you can also tighten it to keep this up so it doesn't the inner tent wall tent doesn't sag on you. There's another pocket over on this side, and you put your feet down here at the bottom. This is the slopes back down here. You put your feet down here, your head up here. I'm gonna put a sleeping bag in here in just a second and show you just the size when you're laying down. Well, here's a mummy bag. I'm about 5'11", and this bag, you know, is going to be a little bit more than 6 feet. And you can see when I lay down here, I've got enough room for my feet. It's pretty close to hitting the bottom of the tent. My head's fairly close to the top, but I've probably got 6 inches on either side. And there's still room for, like I said, a dog, another person if you want to sleep that close to somebody. But it actually has quite a bit of room. And again, even if you touch the inner wall of this tent, you're not going to get wet in the morning as you do with a lot of tents, because the Rainfly on the outside protects this part of the tent and doesn't get moisture on it, and you won't get wet. So you can see this is a really roomy tent for a backpacking tent. It's great for backpacking. You know, you could use it for hunting too. Say if you're taking a horse or packing in and you don't want to take a big tent, but you're not in the dead of winter yet. Maybe you're in September, October, November, and you're hunting in that time frame when the weather's not too bad, it's not too cold. This is a great tent for that time of the year. So I would recommend it for backpackers, hunters, and if you're packing in a ways. Well, let's take a look at the outside right now, and we'll see what it's like with opening up the back so you can get some venting in the back. And then we'll also take the Rainfly off, and we'll look at it, see what it looks like when maybe you're in the middle of summer and you don't want, you want a little more ventilation, and maybe you want to see outside at night or in the morning when you wake up. Well, I said I was going to take the Rainfly off, but, well, I lied. I actually was going to do it. I'll show you a picture of it with the Rainfly off, but that's not how I camp. I don't like to take the Rainfly on and off. Plus, you have to pull the pegs out and pull part of the tent off. So what I do when I camp is I'll leave the Rainfly off. I'll just open it from the front and the back, and you can see right here, there's a mesh window. You can't unzip anything. You just have to pull the Rainfly back to expose it. And then what you saw on the front, you can open that door and it has a mesh also. So if you want to say the mosquitoes are out and you don't like them, I don't. You can close it, still see through the mesh, still be protected from the bugs. Well, that's it for the Hilleberg Anjan 2 tent. And thanks for joining me on Mike and Rick Outdoors. Please like, subscribe, share, and turn on that notification so you'll be alerted to new videos when we put them out. I'll see you next time on Mike and Rick Outdoors.